I've got the awards fever, hope you've got it too. Pour me some bubbly now, it's all you gotta do. It's Christmas time in Wrestling Town, the Unlimited Awards. Pop up some popcorn and welcome aboard. Who's gonna win and who's gonna lose? Hey! I've got the awards fever, hope you've got it too. My name is Bret Litke, and I'm here to do the Woman of the Year award for the Unlimited Awards. Women's wrestling has taken such a step forward from just a few years ago, where TNA was the only real company having good women's wrestling, and now WWE has resurged, Lucha Underground. There's so many terrific women wrestlers that should be recognized. Unfortunately, there is no Lucha Underground nominees on this Woman of the Year poll, but Nikki Bella is. Here's your nominees: Becky Lynch, Nikki Bella, Sasha Banks, Other, Bayley, Charlotte, and Asuka. Who could win? Well, let's see. Drum roll, please. Asuka. Asuka won not only the fan vote, but the actual committee's vote. So good for her. She had a neat year. NXT Women's Champion. Undefeated. She did some great matches. So congratulations to Asuka from the Unlimited Committee and from the fans. And she won massively. She won by a massive amount. 14 votes to be exact. So if that's all you want to hear, you just want to hear the victory, then pause. But if you'd like to hear something else, just wait 5 seconds. Charlotte should have won, and this is why. Because Asuka, okay, she was great, and, you know, hey, you go into NXT, you go into the minor leagues, that's good. NXT puts together some good shows. They put together 4 takeovers a year. There's some good matches. But the truth of the matter is, when you're on Raw, you're in the prime time, when you're wrestling at WrestleMania, the grandest stage of them all, the biggest wrestling show on the frickin' planet, and you're winning every single pay-per-view, undefeated on pay-per-views, and you're putting together terrific matches. You actually have a character that people can hate, a really good heel character that makes you emotionally invested as an audience member, and you have stories that people actually care about involving your father, who is a well-respected legend in this business, and you are looking like the woman version of your father. I believe that if that is the case, and if you've been doing that, and you spent a whole year doing that and dominating, and you won the women's title a whole bunch of times, and you really showcased what women's wrestling can be and what a character can be, and actually believed you're acting, which I don't believe Nikki Bella's acting, I don't believe the others acting, but I do believe Charlotte's acting, and I do believe her promo skills, and I do believe her wrestling abilities. If you've actually spent the whole year doing that, you should be recognized with an award such as Woman of the Year. Not to take anything away from Asuka, but when you put together a year as good as Charlotte did, it should be recognized, and everyone that voted for Asuka is a mark. And if you're watching this video and you think that Asuka should have won Woman of the Year over Charlotte, you're a mark too. I don't care about you, this channel doesn't care about you, and stop watching.
Hello, Unlimited, and welcome back to the Unlimited Awards. And right now we are going to give the award for Ring of Honor Wrestler of the Year. Ring of Honor had a great year, and these are the men the committee thought showcased it the best. Your nominees are Jay Lethal, Adam Cole, Dalton Castle, Kyle O'Reilly, Jay Briscoe, Bobby Fish, and Matt Sydal. Now, in the popular vote, this was a landslide, as well as in the committee vote. And your winner of Ring of Honor Wrestler of the Year is Jay Lethal. Now, Jay Lethal won the popular vote by a vote of 14-6 over the closest competitor. Jay Lethal held the Ring of Honor title for a good portion of the year, and he held that title for the good portion of this year while also holding it for half of last year. Like, his title run from Best in the World last year to Death Before Dishonor this year was Death Before Dishonor this year was one of the greatest title reigns in that company's history. And so, with that, I will see you later. Thank you for voting in the Unlimited Awards.
You guys by now should all know my thoughts on TNA. Over the past couple of years, TNA has hit a downward spiral, having to change TV networks twice, going through a lot of the talent roster, going through executives, going through fans. TNA has done a lot over the past couple of years, and a majority of it is negative. And despite this being a positive award series, there is some negativity that it comes into this too. And in TNA's case, I can't help but be negative about them. And the reason why I criticize them, and the reason why I choose not to watch them, is because I just don't want to care for a company that seemingly does not care for themselves. So that's pretty much why I have not watched TNA as religiously as I have over the past couple of years. TNA used to be a company that I loved. TNA used to be a company that produced good, if not great, moments. Unfortunately, TNA has hit a downward spiral, and to me, just in my opinion, they cannot get out of it. And even if they do, I don't think at this point it'll be enough to get me into it. However, I will do this award for the TNA Wrestler of the Year, and the following nominees are for this award. EC3, Lashley, James Storm, Eddie Edwards, Crazy Steve, Brother Nero, and Broken Matt. Honestly, I don't even need to go through this list of awards. I'm surprised that this wasn't a unanimous poll, because for a while it was, until we got one vote for Eddie Edwards and one vote for James Storm. But my winner, the fans' winner, the committee's winner, is Broken Matt. And, it's Matt Hardy. So, you're probably thinking to yourself, why is Matt Hardy so special in 2016? Well, he's actually made TNA a little bit enjoyable to watch for the casual wrestling fan. He has developed a character that gets over well. He has developed a character for his brother, again, that has gotten over well. All of this is done strictly by the Hardy Boys. TNA just puts it together. You take the wrestling aspect away from it, and you focus more on the entertainment aspect of it, And that's what professional wrestling is all about. And I know a lot of you hate that, but it's the truth. It's like WWE. It's called World Wrestling Entertainment, because it is entertainment, or at least it's supposed to be entertainment. And TNA right now, even though you can look at 90% of the roster and say, I really could care less, you can at least look at Broken Matt and Brother Nero to get you interested. It's gotten me at least somewhat interested in the product. I'm not going to watch it religiously, but I have watched, the Final Deletion. I did watch the Total Nonstop Deletion episode, and I enjoyed watching it. I did. Hopefully, TNA can turn this and, turn this into an upswing, turn this thing around. Hopefully, but you never know. You just never know.
Hey guys, Tyler Harper here again for Unlimited, yet again, helping out my friend Matt Meffy, this time to give the results for one of his end-of-the-year awards for Unlimited, this one for NXT Superstar of the Year. The person who won this award for both the committee and for the fan vote, which is you guys, is... Sorry, we don't have good sound effects here. Shinsuke Nakamura was the winner. I believe getting about 17 votes for the fan vote. He won this in a landslide, the next closest being Samoa Joe with, I believe, only 4 or 5 votes for some reason. My thoughts on this. Number one, obviously Shinsuke Nakamura is a fantastic wrestler. He's been one of the best wrestlers in the world for a few years now, so it's really not too much of a surprise that in his first year of NXT, because obviously he was a very dominant NXT champion putting on great matches, really no surprise that a lot of people think that he's the NXT Wrestler of the Year. My one gripe, and this isn't too big of a concern yet, if it continues and gets a little worse, and you'll see what I mean by that in a sec, then it might be a bigger deal, but what concerns me about Shinsuke is his selling. The fact that in a couple of his big matches that he's had, opponents know that his finisher is the Kinshasa, the running knee to the head. So what do people do? They try to weaken his knees. They try to take out that strength of his knees. That way, it hurts him just as much, if not more, to strike someone with his knee. Well, there are times when opponents do that in the match, and then he'll start to sell it for a little bit, and then when it gets to the finish, oh, la-di-da-di-da, my knee's fine, knee from the top rope, Kinshasa. That kind of worries me a little bit, because that's almost Cena-esque no-selling, because there have been multiple times where Cena's been guilty of that. I think it could be corrected, and again, I am not knocking Nakamura's abilities, as weird as that is to say, at all. I think he's a fantastic wrestler. He's got the charisma. He's got the ability. He's going to be a star in the WWE. I personally voted for Samoa Joe, but that's just because, as good as Shinsuke Nakamura is, I think Joe is just finding another gear right now, and had Joe just kept the belt instead of just flip-flopping it right back to Nakamura in Japan, I wouldn't have hated Joe I wouldn't have hated seeing Joe hold the NXT belt that much longer until someone like Ty Dillinger had a huge win and knocked him off, just because Joe plays the role of final boss in NXT so well. So it would be amazing to see him just run rugshot for a lot longer, but at least at this point it is not meant to be. I don't know how much longer Joe will be on the NXT roster before he gets bumped to the main, but who knows. But there you have it, both the committee and the fan vote giving Shinsuke Nakamura NXT
Welcome
Superstar
back to the Unlimited Awards, and now we are giving the award for New Japan Pro Wrestling Wrestler of the Year, and much like Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling had a knockout year. Everything they did delivered this year. And here are the wrestlers who showcased that brand, that style the best. The nominees are Katsuyori Shibata, Kazuchika Okada, Will Ospreay, Tatsuya Naito, and Kenny Omega. Now, all of these men have merit to win this award. All of these men are immensely talented. All of these men are immensely successful. All of these men are amazing, but only one can win for New Japan Pro Wrestling Wrestler of the Year. And that man is Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega, leader of the Bullet Club, won the Intercontinental title this year. He won G1 Climax. He is going to the Tokyo Dome in a matter of a few days to face his closest competition in this voting, which wasn't really even close at all in terms of the fan voting or the committee voting. Kazuchika Okada. Kenny Omega was on fire this year. Kenny Omega will continue to be on fire. Kenny Omega is an outstanding talent that will shine this year and 4 years to come.
Yes, I get to talk about the WWE in 2016. Oh, goody. Well, WWE in 2016 produced another lackluster, mediocre year. And like I said about the TNA Awards, although this is a positive award series, some negativity creeps into this too. And I cannot be overly positive about the WWE because they have not had a good year. They did not have a good 2016 year, no matter what anybody says. But, without any further ado, the following nominees are for the WWE Superstar of the Year. And I included more nominees than usual because WWE is the big show. It is the big company. It's, number one on the map, if you get my point. So I wanted to include as many superstars as I could. And for the most part, it was pretty close between two particular superstars. But here are the nominees. AJ Styles, Seth Rollins, The Miz, Brock Lesnar, Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho, Charlotte, Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and Bray Wyatt. And then I left, a slot open for a write-in vote if you wanted to. And we got one write-in vote for Rusev, so I'll say that. But if you look at the WWE roster, and especially these nominees, you could make an argument for at least some of them. Some could make an argument for Charlotte. Now, I know that there's a Woman of the Year award, so a lot of you may be wondering, why is she included in the WWE Superstar of the Year award? Well, it goes to pretty much because, WWE is at least trying to make an effort to promote the women in a bigger and better way. So why not do the same here? If women are finally getting treated equally by the WWE, they're main eventing pay-per-views, they're getting stipulation matches, they're getting ample amount of time on television and on pay-per-views, why should I not give them time on this award series? If the WWE can do it, why can't I? You can obviously look at Chris Jericho. It's kind of a resurgence for him as a heel. He developed himself as one of the better heels in the company, even though he doesn't exactly get the crowd to boo him because, the crowds today are just all over these talents, whether they're faces or heels. But Chris Jericho does do his job somewhat, for the most part, properly. So obviously I'm going to include him. You can look at a guy like Brock Lesnar, and you look at him and say he beat Bray Wyatt and he beat Luke Harper in the same night. WrestleMania, he beat Dean Ambrose, and then at SummerSlam he annihilated Randy Orton. Obviously you had that big loss to Goldberg, but he still had some big moments. And while they may not have been good moments, they were still big moments. You can look at somebody like a Roman Reigns. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Hold back your fire, guys. Stop. I see you preparing. Just relax. There's a reason why Roman Reigns is on my wall up here. He's improved. No matter what you want to say about him, no matter how much you love Dean Ambrose, this guy's improved. Whether you want to admit it or whether you don't. He has. The guy is not in the main event. Well, let me rephrase that. He's not in the main event scene all the time. It's not like Cena, where he's in the main event scene 365 days a year, every year. He's a guy that's in the main event scene, and then he's not in the main event scene. You take turns. That's fine with me. Here's a guy that has developed at least somewhat of a personality. He has definitely improved in the ring. Better than, let's say, a Dean Ambrose. Again, just my opinion. You can look at somebody like a Dean Ambrose and say, well, he won the world championship, he's main evented pay-per-views, he's produced some good matches. But, you know, this poll goes to 2 people. And this is very, very close. The Unlimited Awards Committee vote was 4-3. And our winner was AJ Styles. And I've mentioned this before. You look at a guy like an AJ Styles, you know, the face of TNA, the face of the indie scene. Here he is at the Royal Rumble, the number 3 entrant, and nobody's expecting it. Nobody's prepared for it. And then it happens, and the crowd in Orlando that night was just electric. It was fantastic. It was, part of the pun, phenomenal. Which is why AJ Styles is the winner here. And then you look at the stuff he did with Chris Jericho. No, it may not have been perfect, but it was damn good. It was good enough to get by, and it was good enough to establish himself as a major player. And then you had him compete in 2 Match of the Year candidates against Roman Reigns for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And then immediately you follow that up with having him face the big dog and feud with the big dog in John Cena. And again, producing 5-star match caliber matches. You know, that's just in my opinion. This guy seemingly, well, not seemingly, obviously, has come into the WWE and has done it all. And then you follow up Cena by having him win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And if you look back a couple of years before that and said in 2016, AJ Styles was going to be the top guy in the WWE, I probably would have laughed at you, and so would anybody else. But here he is. In 2016, AJ Styles is the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, and he's going to go into 2017 with that belt. And he's probably going to get a big-time WrestleMania match, maybe even against The Undertaker. The guy has done it all in just 1 short year, and for that, he wins the committee vote, and he also wins fans' choice. There was a very, very close second place with the Unlimited Committee vote, and it was The Miz. Again, the score was 4-3. The Miz was so close. However, you can't really have any shame, because The Miz in 2016, if you want to talk about a resurgence, this guy is the top heel in the WWE. He's better than Kevin Owens. In my opinion, he's better than any heel that's currently on the roster, because he actually goes out there and he actually does his job right. He gets the crowd to hate him, and that's what heels do. And not only that, he's produced some really damn good matches. He's had some really damn good feuds. You know, The Miz is definitely in a comeback year, and it is good enough to be considered the WWE Superstar of the Year. But this award goes to AJ Styles, and it was definitely well-deserved.